It's no secret that the animal kingdom is especially friendly. Sure, we've seen some strange friendships on this channel, but there are some sworn enemies out here, for seemingly no reason. Some animals simply can't stand the sight of the other. These wars are usually either over food or territory, but it is always deadly. Welcome back to Forever Green. Today, we're looking at some arboreal animals that absolutely hate each other. But before we dive in, we should probably clarify what arboreal animals are. Arboreal animals are those that spend most of their life on trees. They eat, travel, play, and sleep on trees. Some examples of such animals include chameleons, lizards, squirrels, snakes, birds, and a variety of insects. Pop quiz. If arboreal animals are those that spend most of their time in trees, what is a fossorial animal? Don't Google it, just put your guesses down below. We'll give you a hint. A badger is a fossorial animal. Alright, now let's check out the 12 arboreal animals that hate each other. Number 12. Monkeys and pythons. Depending on the size of the snake, of course, pythons may eat rodents and birds, or full-grown mammals like monkeys or antelope. Once the meal is consumed, pythons look for the shade of a nice tree and take a nap. In the video, we see a giant python pounce and strangle a Thai monkey as dozens of the small primates dart around the snake helplessly, trying to save their friend. Each time any of the other monkeys get close, the python rears up and bares its fangs to warn them away. We can see one monkey manage to get close and tug at the now limp tail of the trapped primate. Sadly, this doesn't help much either. Snakes need a quiet place to eat their meal, and this place was anything but quiet, with all the monkeys making a racket. Number 11. Sloths and harpy eagles. Sloths certainly aren't what you'd consider fighters. Far, far from it. They are known to mistake their own limbs for branches and end up falling from trees and dying. How would an uncoordinated animal like that ever be able to defend itself? Well, this one seemed to manage just fine. This sloth managed to fight off this harpy eagle all by itself. Harpy eagles are hunting carnivores and apex predators, preying mostly on sloths, monkeys, and opossums. They even prey on other birds and have talons powerful 4-inch talons to tear into an animal. Of course, the fact that this particular eagle was still young and inexperienced helped. However, it's still impressive for a sloth, especially given that it was a pretty old one. Number 10. Bees and Asian giant hornets. As the name suggests, giant Asian hornets are huge hornets that can grow to about 2 inches long. They're nicknamed murder hornets, and with good reason. Recently, the United States got swarms of these hornets, devastating the local bee population required for crop pollination. These hornets have a particular appetite for bees, and they specialize in attacking as a group. A worker hornet tags a bee colony with pheromones, and then brings a backup crew to attack. A honeybee hive usually has thousands of residents, but hornets can wipe them all out in a matter of hours. Each hornet can kill one bee every 14 seconds, using their powerful mandibles to decapitate prey. Their attack starts with the slaughter phase, where they enter hives looking for larvae and destroy everything in the process. When the bees try to fight back and sting their enemies, they cannot pass through the hornet's strong armor. Hornets also feed honeybee larvae to their young, but bees have tricks of their own. When a hornet finds a hive, the bees don't try to stop it. Instead, they let it in. They then surround the hornet, forming a bee ball, and vibrate, heating up the hornet until it is cooked. The temperature can rise up to 115 degrees. It's essentially a tiny oven. This is one of the most spectacular defense mechanisms in nature. Asian giant hornets may be violent and ruthless, but the honeybees win this round. Number 9. Snakes and mongooses. Mongooses are generally considered to be ground dwellers, but slender mongooses are the only species of mongoose in eastern Africa to be arboreal. This skill allows them to prey on nesting birds as well as eggs. These mongooses tend to be solitary, and they rarely travel or live in groups. The mongoose has a legendary reputation as a snake killer. In fact, They are known for their vicious attacks on highly venomous snakes, which is funny because even the biggest apex predators know not to mess with these reptiles. But how? Mongooses have special acetylcholine receptors that make them resistant and even immune to snake venom, giving them an edge over their enemy. Plus, their thick, puffy coats prevent short-fanged snakes from hitting their mark. Another advantage they have over snakes: their technique. Mongooses are quick. They dart and feint at the snake at lightning speed, so the snake is forced to strike repeatedly until they tire themselves out. And when their guard is down, the tiny carnivore goes in for the kill. It bites off the snake's head. They are fearless hunters and attackers. You won't find them hiding or slyly walking around the way lions stalk their prey. Mongooses are primarily found in Africa, and they eat anything from birds and small rodents to reptiles and frogs. They even on occasion like fruits, nuts, and seeds, and sometimes they'll open up bird eggs by throwing them at a tree or some solid object. Given how they share some similar prey with snakes, these two enter into a confrontation sometimes, much like hyenas and lions do. Before we move on, here's a quick challenge for you. If you can leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and turn on the notifications in less than 5 seconds, you will have 10 years of amazing luck. Hurry up and try it. It actually works. Number 8. Monkeys and chameleons. Carnivorous mammals don't always share the habitat of chameleons, so they don't often prey on the colorful little lizards. Even if they could climb trees, like big cats often do, chameleons are just too small to even be considered an evening snack. But monkeys have been known to eat reptiles when they come across them. Monkeys are omnivores. This means that they eat meat and plant-based foods. Most stick to nuts, fruits, seeds, and flowers, but others also eat meat in the form of birds' eggs and small lizards. There are over 160 species of these lizards spread across Madagascar, Spain, Africa, Asia, and Portugal. Their large eyes, curled tails, and colorful skin can be attractive to predators. Though they are able to blend in by changing their skin, chameleons are near the bottom of the food chain. Not much room there for hope unless they're really, really quick. Number 7. Ants and termites. You might not associate tree dwelling with the forest floor, but that outlook overlooks countless species of insects that make the most of the decay down in the lowest reaches of the forest. If a tree falls in the forest, you can bet something is there to eat it or make it a home. Termites are one of the best cleanup crews in the rainforest. They can live underground, above ground in their iconic mounds, within dead wood, or in giant arboreal nests. Of course, there are always other species to take that away from them. That's just how it works here in the forest. When ants go up against termites, it's not even close to a fair fight. Termites get annihilated. On the surface, you would probably think that termites would be the easy victors. After all, they are substantially larger than ants, usually by 2 or 3 times, if not even bigger. Termites also have heads that appear built for combat, but all that isn't much use in a fight. Despite their average size and weight, ants are much more aggressive and almost always have superiority in numbers. Termites can build mounds that reach over 17 feet in height, and it usually takes 5 years to make that. Ants don't care much for all that hard work and often barge in to either claim it for themselves or simply destroy everything. They'll invade the termite nest, make short work of the termite warriors, then kill the termite queen and drag her from the nest. This virtually always ensures the death of a termite colony. And those weird shapes you see on termite heads, like big blocky structures, those are for defense. A last-ditch evolutionary throw to try to grow some sort of way to stop ant attacks. Unfortunately for the termites, it hasn't helped them much. At best, it allows the defenders to hold off the ant attack long enough for workers to seal off any entry points to the queen's chamber. If the queen survives, the termite colony survives, no matter how many workers and warriors are lost in the battle. Through the years, termites have evolved many defenses to protect themselves from predation by ants, including protective tubes and producing armed soldiers. But when ants are able to overcome those defenses, they consume the termites. Number 6. Tree snails and chameleons. The kahuli tree snail is endemic to Hawaii and found only on the island of Oahu. Native trees and shrubs are the best habitats for these tree snails. Kahuli tree snails are tiny mollusks with colorful, elongated shells. Its soft body has two parts, the foot and the head. The foot of the snail is used for crawling. The head is where the tentacles attach, and these contain the sensory organs. Kahuli tree snails are very small. Their shells are less than an inch in length. So you can see how they'd make a nice snack for any other tree-dwelling predator. The snail's habitat also houses the Jackson chameleon, their greatest threat. In their natural environment, chameleons eat all kinds of insects, which includes snails and slugs. Jackson chameleons in particular are known to be an invasive species in Hawaii. They are actually native to East Africa, but were introduced to the island. Jackson's chameleons are sometimes called three-horned chameleons because males possess 3 brown horns, one on the nose and one above each eye, somewhat like a triceratops. The females generally have no horns or traces of a rostral horn. They are usually bright green, with some of them having hints of blue and yellow. But like all chameleons, they change color quickly depending on mood, health, and temperature. They have had quite a devastating impact on the Hawaiian ecosystem, wreaking havoc on the endemic species population. The tree snails, in particular, are now critically endangered because of them. They swallow the tree snails whole, including the shell, but they are not the only threat. One of the worst predators is usually another snail, the carnivorous rosy wolf snail. The rosy wolf snail was also purposely introduced in Hawaii with the hope that it would kill off the invasive giant African snail. Unfortunately, the rosy wolf snail prefers the bite-sized kahuli snail, so that plan backfired pretty badly. Number 5. Python and bats. Seems like everybody has a problem with snakes up in the trees. Another animal pretty fed up with the python is the bat. Snakes hunt bats in complete darkness by sensing movements of air stirred up by the flying mammals. Though these boas and other snakes have been shown to prey on smaller bats, nobody had ever seen one snagging a vampire bat. You could see the snake hang from the branch, holding the giant bat in a death grip. Number 4. Orangutans and tigers. Fun fact, orangutans are the largest arboreal mammal, spending a majority of their time in trees. These apes are native to Indonesia and Malaysia and are found in the rainforests of Borneo and Sumatra. Orangutans are the most solitary of the great apes, with social bonds occurring primarily between mothers and their babies, who remain with her for the first 2 years only. Their natural predators are big cats, but in these forests, it's mostly the tiger. If there's a confrontation between the two, the tiger would win, no doubt. Assuming they are at the upper limits for their size, the orangutan would be in the range of 220 pounds, while the tiger will be close to a whopping 700. You can go ahead and add another 50 pounds if it's a Siberian tiger. Either way, the tiger is more than 3 times the weight of the ape, but that doesn't mean the orangutan doesn't fight back. Adult male orangutans can be aggressive, and you can see how the two animals battle it out here, with the tiger swiping at the ape and the ape throwing punches at an apex predator. Lately, however, the tiger population has lowered considerably due to poaching. On Borneo, there are no tigers, and leopards are the main animal that eats orangutans, but even that's rare. The absence of tigers on Borneo might be the reason behind more orangutans venturing out of the trees and onto the ground. Number 3. Geckos and spiders. Got a spider problem in your house? That's easily solved with a gecko. Not only are they efficient in getting rid of insects around your home, but they also look adorable doing it. A healthy gecko population keeps the insect population low or zero. Spiders are predatory arachnids that live wherever there's a food source. Geckos not only eat spiders, they control the spider's food sources as well. Their sticky toe pads give them the ability to climb up slick tile, glass, and vertical walls, or scurry about upside down on the ceiling. They hunt primarily during the evening and at night, but it is not uncommon to see geckos hunting during the day, particularly in dimly lit rooms. But this is definitely not a one-way street. Sometimes the opposite can also happen. A full-grown gecko can often become a sumptuous meal for a huntsman spider. This, of course, was captured in Australia. They probably just burned the house down after recording the terrifying footage. It is now time to check out today's subscriber pick. Remember, if you ever come across some bizarre or fascinating image, you can send it to us and we'll investigate. Today's image is of a snake about to have a little snack. We did a little digging on the internet, and here's what we found. Number 2. Tree snake and gecko. Geckos are beautiful, colorful creatures, and certainly don't look the type to engage in fights. The tree snake, however, looks exactly like the sort of animal to get into fights. What happens when they come face to face? Well, visitors at a convention in Arboreal, Thailand, found out when they noticed a golden tree snake hanging down from a branch while strangling the gecko. We can see the tree snake swallowing the lizard's entire head, while dozens of stinging ants add to the lizard's suffering. With the gecko's chances of escaping looking bleak, suddenly the snake's grip loosens, and they both drop to the ground. The startled snake slithers away, while the gecko immediately makes a run for it. Alright, at the beginning of the video we asked you, what is a fossorial animal? It's an animal adapted to digging, and they live mostly underground. These include badgers, but also meerkats and naked mole rats, to name a few. Did you guess correctly? Number 1. Bats and birds. Bats typically stick to fruits, seeds, and pollen from flowers. These bats are called frugivores. But there are also bats that are a little more ambitious in their diet: birds, fish, and sometimes even other bats. Nocturnal bats were seen catching and eating songbirds mid-flight. Songbirds often migrate at night in an attempt to avoid predators, but that doesn't seem to stop the bat one bit. Giant nocturnes are among the largest bats in Europe, with a wingspan of 46 centimeters. They wrap their prey between their wings and tail membrane, basically trapping the bird in a cage. Sounds terrifying. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and check out more videos on nature and animals on the Forevergreen channel. We'll be back soon with another video, but until then, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.